Huh. We need to talk about this Amanda Seales and Shannon Sharpe interview. I want to talk about the first thing I want to talk about, the thing that made me even watch the entire 3 hour and 10 minutes interview. It was a part where an hour and 27 minutes in, Amanda says that a psychic tells her that she's supposed to go get her master's, and Shannon's like, "You believe in psychics?" And she's like, "I believe in a lot of things." And then he's just like, "Oh," like judging her. And she was like, wait. And he's like, no, we don't. Because by that point, he realizes, like, she's about to go in on me. And she's like, "No, just listen. You believe in God. You believe in pastors, reverends, priests, prophets, but you don't believe in psychics. A prophet and a psychic is the same thing. It's just called a different name. You believe that people have access to God differently than some other ones. That's why y'all go to pastors and priests and blah, 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 blah." And he decides, instead of taking in that information that she just gave him, dissecting it, thinking about its validity or not, he says, "But lately, pastors been getting in people's wallets." Makes a joke. She laughs. He asks her a question and pivots the whole entire conversation. Therefore, not having to deal with his cognitive distance, whatever. Not having to change his thoughts. Not having to challenge his mindset and unlearn, relearn, or elevate it in any way, shape, or form. And it was interesting to see, to have such a blatant example, especially when it comes to spirituality and religion, because honestly, they're not that different. You might practice different than another person, but ultimately, a lot of them are rooted in the same beliefs and stemming from the same, like, origins. And it's just interesting to see one be uplifted and the other one be put down or told to be bad or portrayed as a bad thing. And that's what's wrong with the entirety of society. Most people would do like Shannon did. They would let their old thoughts, instead of being challenged, they would either find a way to get out of the conversation, or they would allow you to think that you're right so that they don't have to think about it. And it's just like, just take the information, dissect what it's saying, see if it's valid, and if it is, then challenge yourself to grow. Don't just say, "Oh," challenge yourself to grow. And I get that challenging yourself to grow can be difficult at times, but it's what's needed in order to actually grow. A lot of people like to say, "I'm working on myself every day," but you're working on parts that are like shallow pool, like kiddie pool stuff. That was something deep. Instead of actually jumping in the deep end, he just pivoted the conversation and moved on. Whatever. Okay, so let's get into the overall of the whole entire interview. It was a difficult interview to watch. I watched it in its entirety because I can't make videos about something if I do not actually understand it. Amanda brought up the point that people like to clickbait and people like to put out sound bites. And that's absolutely true. People do not actually have journalistic integrity anymore. And me, as a content creator, as someone who gives my opinion on things, I can't give my opinion on a clip. I had to watch the entire interview. It took several sittings. I did not watch it in one sitting. I watched it in like 5. Because I just had to have time to just dissect what she was saying, dissect what he was saying, get myself back together, because quite frankly, they both were getting on my nerves, if I'm being real. Amanda, she's been through a lot, and it shows in her language. She has a lot of victim language, and I don't quite like listening to it. Shannon, is not very good on researching his guest, and it shows. And I'm not even basing this just off of this one interview. I've watched two in its entirety. The other one being Kat. And also, I watched some of Tabitha's interview. I don't know why I didn't watch it all. I think I just had something to do and just never clicked back on. I don't know. But this was the first interview where he was just like everything, for the first like maybe 45-ish minutes, everything that Amanda said, he would say, well, let me ask you this. And then he would like try to present a alternate point of view to her point of view. And it was just like, I've never seen him do that with Tab. I've never seen him do that with Kat. It was interesting to see, and it was actually irritating. It was very irritating. The whole entire interview was quite irritating. But what I will say is it was funny at some parts. And Amanda, I see Amanda in a new light. I don't actually watch a lot of Amanda's stuff. And I don't know. I think it was just like what she's been saying. I rub a lot of people the wrong way. I feel like that might be the case for me. But what I'm going to do is challenge myself. And I promise you, this came to me while I was walking in Walmart, listening to the interview, and I was getting a little irritated with her. And I was like, I'm going to do shadow work to see why she's irritating me. Because more likely than not, she's illuminating something within herself that I also have, that I'm irritated by within myself. Like, that's where I'm at with it. That's why going back to the beginning when I said that's, you have to challenge yourself in order to grow. I'm going to sit down and think about what it is about Amanda that kind of doesn't rub me right. But ultimately, I feel as though the things that she was saying and how she felt and all that stuff, that was completely valid. I just didn't like the language. I just did not like her language. But honestly, anybody could talk the way that they want to talk and live their life the way that they want to live their life. I'm just saying, I didn't watch Amanda before this, and I might not watch her after this, but I have a newfound light for Amanda. I understand her more because I took the time to watch the entire interview. I did write down some notes, so I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I want to say about this. I said that. The disagreements. Like I said, Shannon would constantly be like, well, let me ask you this, and then try to put an alternate point of view. The only thing that I will say, like, Amanda wasn't wrong in being like basically stop trying to misunderstand me and just allow me to give you my point of view and just be okay with the point of view I give you. Is that not everybody is trying to grow, and not everybody is trying to learn and understand each other. And sometimes you have to know when to just be like, you want to be ignorant. That's cool. I get it. You want to stay in your ignorance, and I don't want to waste my time. I feel like she put a lot of effort into trying to get him to just understand her. And it's just like, babe, you're not going to be understood by everybody. You said you're autistic. She said that she has autism. You have autism. You're literally wired within your brain to think and act differently than the rest of society. Not everybody's going to understand. Not everybody's going to try to. And well, I'm saying this to Amanda, but it's really not to Amanda. It's to anyone who feels other and anyone who wants people to understand them. You're not always going to get people to understand you. And you're not always going to have people who want to put in that effort. You have to be okay with that. It's just like when it comes to religion or when it comes to spirituality and you're trying to teach people about your beliefs and people aren't on board with it, you dust your feet. You just move on, right? That's the same principle. You don't want to understand my point of view when I tell you this story? You don't have to. The audience is listening. They vibing with me. Oh, do you think it could have been this or that and the other? No. I don't have to go into a whole story about why my point of view is the point of view that you should be. No, I don't think that. Oh, do you want to share why? No, because honestly, I didn't like that question. And I was just answering your question because you asked it. The answer is no. Ask me another question. Save yourself some energy. Stop trying to make people understand you. They've made it clear that they don't want to try. All in all, I honestly think it's an interview worth watching. I don't know. I got good points out of it. I really did. That spirituality thing was the biggest thing, though. It was the biggest thing for me because that's what hits for me. But for somebody else, it might be something else. I really love that she was transparent, that she was honest. And I think that it's an interview worth watching. I definitely see why people were talking about it. And I'm glad that I watched it. That's my whole entire take on all of it. And I'm so glad that I got this video done, y'all. It took me so long. Oh, I almost forgot. Because I'm trying to tell y'all, it's been a lot with this video. But I want you to have a fantastic day. Remember, it's up to you. No one else.